Hare Krishna. Today we will be discussing text 18, translation of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita As It Is, of chapter 17. Those ostentatious penances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor, and reverence are said to be in the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent. Sometimes penances and austerities are executed to attract people and receive honor, respect, and worship from other persons in the mode of passion, arranged to be worshipped by subordinates, and let them wash their feet and offer riches. Such arrangements, artificially made by the performance of penances, are considered to be the mode of passion. The results are temporary. They can be continued for some time, but they are not permanent. Text 19, translation. And those penances and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of abstained self-torture, or to destroy or to injure others, are said to be in the mode of ignorance. There are instances of foolish penances undertaken by demons like Hiranyakashipu, who performed austere penances to become more immortal and kill the demigod. He prayed to Brahma such things, but ultimately he was killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To undergo penances for something which is impossible is certainly in the mode of ignorance. Text 20, translation. That gift which is given out of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person and without expectation of return is considered to be a charity in the mode of goodness. In the Vedic literature, charity given to a person engaged in spiritual activities is recommended. There is no recommendation for giving charity indiscriminately. Spiritual perfection is always a consideration. Therefore, charity is recommended to be given at a place of pilgrimage and at lunar or solar eclipses, or at the end of the month, or to qualified Brahmana or a Vaishnava, or in the temples. So charity should be given without any consideration of a return. Charity to the poor is sometimes given out of compassion, but if poor man is not worth giving charity to, then there is no spiritual advancement. In other words, indiscriminate charity is not recommended in the Vedic literature. Text 21, translation. But charity performed with the expectations of some return, or with a desire for fruitive results, or in grudging mood, is said to be a charity in the mode of passion. Charity is sometimes performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom, and sometimes with a great trouble and with a repentance of afterwards. Why have I spent so much in this way? Charity is also sometimes made under some obligation. At the request of the superior, these kinds of charities are said to be made in the mode of passion. There are many charitable foundations which offer their gifts to institutions which sense gratification goes on. Such charities are not recommended in Vedic scriptures. Only charity in the mode of goodness is recommended. Text 22, translation. And charity performed at the improper place and time and given to unworthy persons without respect and with contempt is charity in the mode of ignorance. Contributions for indulgence in intoxication and gambling is not encouraged here. That sort of contribution is in the mode of ignorance. Such a charity is not beneficial, rather sinful. Persons are encouraged. Similarly, if a person gives a charity to a suitable person without respect and without attention, that sort of charity is also said to be in the mode of darkness. Text 23, translation. From the beginning of the creation, the three syllables Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the Supreme Absolute Truth, Brahman. They are uttered by Brahmanas while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. It has been explained that penance, sacrifice, charity, and foods are divided into three categories: the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But whether first class, second class, or a third class, they are all conditioned, contaminated by the material modes of nature. When they are aimed at the Supreme Om Tat Sat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Eternal, they become means for spiritual elevation. In the scriptural instructions, such an objective is indicated. These three words, Om Tat Sat, particularly indicate the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vedic hymns, the word Om is always found. One who acts without following the regulations of the scriptures will not attain the Absolute Truth. He will get some temporary results, but not the ultimate end of life. The conclusion of that, the performance of charity, sacrifice, and penance must be done in the mode of goodness. Performed in the mode of passion or ignorance, they are certainly inferior in quality. The three words Om Tat Sat are uttered in a conjunction with the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Om Tad Vishnu. Whenever a Vedic hymn or a holy name of the Supreme Lord is uttered, Om is added. This is the indication of the Vedic literature. These three words are taken from the Vedic hymns. Om iti etat brahmano nidishtam nama indicates the first goal. The Tattvamsi indicates the second goal. The Sadeva Saumya indicates the third goal. Combined, they become Om Tat Sat. Formerly, when Brahma, the first creating living entity, performed sacrifices, he spoke these three names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The same principle holds by the disciplinic succession. So, this hymn has a great significance. Bhagavad-Gita recommends, therefore, that any work done should be done for Om Tat Sat or for some Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one performs penance, charity and sacrifice with these three words, he is acting in Krishna Consciousness. Krishna Consciousness is the scientific execution of the transcendental activities which enables one to return home back to Godhead. There is no loss of energy in acting in such a transcendental way. Text 24 translation. Thus the transcendentalist undertakes sacrifices, charities and penances, beginning always with Om to attain the Supreme. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. The lotus feet of Vishnu are the supreme devotional platform. The performance of everything on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures the perfection of all activity. Text 25 translation. One should perform sacrifice, penance and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activity is to get free from the material entanglement. To be elevated to the spiritual position, one should not act for any material gain. Act should be performed for the ultimate gain of being transferred to the spiritual kingdom, back to home, back to Godhead. Text 26 and 7. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. These works of sacrifice, of penance and charity, true to absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Partha. The words Prasate Karmani, or prescribed duties, indicates that there are many activities prescribed in Vedic literature which are purificatory process, beginning from a parental care up to the end of one's life. Such purificatory processes are adapted for the ultimate liberation of the living entity. In all such activities, it is recommended that one should vibrate Om Tat Sat. The words Sadbhave and Sadhubhave indicates the transcendental situation. One who is acting in Krishna consciousness is called Sattva, and one who is fully conscious of activities Krishna consciousness is called Swarupa. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the transcendental subject matter becomes clear in the association of the devotees. Without good association, one cannot achieve the transcendental knowledge. When initiating a person or offering the sacred thread, one vibrates the word Om Tat Sat. Similarly, in all kinds of yogic performances, the supreme object Om Tat Sat is invoked. These words Om Tat Sat are used to perfect all activities. The supreme Om Tat Sat makes everything complete. Text 28 translation. But sacrifices, austerities and charities performed without faith in the Supreme are non-permanent. O son of Partha, regardless of whatever rites are performed, they are called asat and are useless both in this life and next life. Anything done without the transcendental objective, whether it is a sacrifice, charity or a penance, is useless. Therefore, in this verse it is declared that such activities are abominable. Everything should be done for the Supreme in Krishna consciousness. Without such faith and without the proper guidance, there can never be any fruit. In all the Vedic scriptures, faith in the Supreme is advised. In the pursuit of all Vedic instructions, the ultimate goal is the understanding of Krishna. No one can obtain success without following this principle. Therefore, the best course is to work from the very beginning in Krishna consciousness under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. That is the way of making everything successful. In the conditional stage, people are attracted to worship demigods, ghosts or yakshas like Kuera. The mode of goodness is better than the mode of passion and ignorance, but one takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. Although there is a process of a gradual elevation, if one by the association of a pure devotee takes directly to Krishna consciousness, that is the best way, and that is recommended in this chapter. To achieve the success in this way, one must first find a proper spiritual master and receive training under his direction. Then one can achieve faith in the Supreme. When that faith matures in course of time, it is called love of God. This love is the ultimate goal of living entities. One should therefore take to Krishna consciousness directly. That is the message of the 17th chapter. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita in the matter of divisions of a faith. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Keep listening for the 18th, the last chapter of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Thank you so much.